everyone different, everyone different. All the cikgu-cikgu yang berjaya, Anutra, Seasa and everything, they're just simply being themselves. I used to malu, with my toys and comic book. I remember I ikut pameran kat Miri, buat pameran toys. There's a group of big bikers datang. I spent 3 hours susun toys kat meja tu. These big bikers datang. Kat ujungnya dia shake bagi jatuh all my toys, kata, ni korang semua budak-budak, dia kata. I used to be embarrassed, I used to malu. Lama-kelamaan, I realized these are the things that inspired me to come up with Danger Room. These are the things that inspired me to realize these kids are mutants too, then it helps.
Welcome back to the third segment of the podcast. Okay, so kiranya we had a really lengthy discussion or lengthy, sharing of Cikgu Nazmi's experience in Kawasan Pedalaman and the Danger Room. I think that's quite a lot, if you ask me. But it was really fruitful as well to hear your experience as well. I think we kind of have to cut this into a 2 episode though. But either way, if it's like 2 episodes, I guess 2 times the fun, right? Because I think this third segment is more of a reflection and some thought-provoking questions to Cikgu Nazmi kan. Sebab banyak juga kami nak tanya ni. Segmen ketiga ni. Okay, jadi let's start with the first question here. Okay, so the first question kita nak tanya ni is, like, as I promised, I'm going to converge towards My Hero Academia, right? But just for a fun thought, we know that the tariffs let's say hypothetically, right, the tariffs has been implemented, right? And I'm pretty sure you have a lot of X-Men comic books or Western comic books, right? Okay. So I just asked ChatGPT, based on its calculation, Western comics cost more within the tariff, which is like around, let's say, if you buy a paperback, it's like around 66 ringgit. But if you buy a manga or manhwas, maybe it's like around 20 to 40 ringgit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe would you consider trying to get inspiration from an Eastern alternative?
For me, this day, like we Marvel comic followers, we actually read it online. There's an app called Marvel online. But I do buy comics. It's like, you know what Stanley said? Stanley.
Okay. What is it?
The one who found Marvel, the father of Marvel, he said, what can you say about buying the physical comic book and reading it online?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he said, in his word, it's like looking at women. It's good to see them online, but it's better to have them by your side.
Okay. Oh, okay. Have one. Okay.
I have one. I only buy comic book, the physical comic book, ones that I feel it's really give me something. Those yang I can really, it left remarkable feelings on me. The rest I just read it online. Yeah. So tariff on a tariff. Those yang I feel have a biggest influence on me, I have to get it. I'm gonna find it.
Is the one that you have right now a big influence?
This one is Fantastic Four Dark Reign. I recently got it because the new upcoming Fantastic Four comic is based on this. So if the new Fantastic Book film is about
Yep.
how Reed Richard, Mr. Fantastic, discovered that there's so many worlds there. So that is the moment here where he actually invented a machine to look at the other Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
So this is the very important piece in the comic history. Actually, he discovered a lot of version of themselves.
Oh, okay.
This also the moment. See, this is fun. This is the 80s, 60th century of X-Men. They found
Oh,
themselves a
wow.
version. Yeah. This is the moment where Marvel Comic realized they can expand their brand by having other version of themselves.
Mm.
The one that you read is 616. So there's a version where everyone is evil. There's a world where every Marvel is a every Marvel is a vampire. I have one
Mhm.
comic book where X-Men, where Deadpool kill everyone in that universe.
Yes,
That's one. That's a version,
I
bro.
read that. I read that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I can relate with my student is that, um, if you look at a student, they have like endless, endless of what they could have been. You know what they could be. You know, if you choose this path, your case might end up jadi orang macam ni. If you use this path, your case might end up jadi macam ni. I remember I tak marah this one kid sebab tak buat kerja rumah, and now he's a good boy. He's a very good boy. I
Okay.
remember start ajarin this kid marah-marahin kelas, tak buat kerja rumah, and I decide that only one day, I will ignore dia tak buat kerja rumah ni. And now he's a very very good kids. I remember telling my kids, apa best masuk IPG? You know, it's one day. Now she's applying untuk masuk IPG, and she dah dapat interview untuk ke IPG.
Wow.
You know, so it's like this. When Red Richard, when Mr. Fantastic tengok to this one portal to see endless possibility of himself, it's great. And for me, the person yang able to do it is the teacher. Budak paling muda, the youngest one that sent to my asrama is 5 years old.
Oh, that's really young.
Yep. I know because I am the one yang ajar yang basuh baju, lipat baju, jemur kain, bangun pagi supaya tak menangis, not to share burus gigi with everyone. If you sabun habis, you kena minta dengan ni, you tak boleh masuk washing machine, kasut dan sebagainya. And the one who do that is the cikgu. Me, the warden. You know?
Okay, pump. Yeah.
So, tarif or no tarif, it's definitely comic books.
Okay. It's okay. I appreciate your dedication though. Though I think when you talk about, okay, so that's Marvel Comics. I think that's something that I really appreciate about it as well. Is that I think their storytelling reflects, a lot of what the Western world is facing, but also I think also the trend of having this multiverse thingy, right? Where you get to see different versions of themselves. But My Hero Academia, I think it's interesting how they delve into the world of heroes. Because firstly it questions about what's the role of a hero in society, but also it also answers the question, what does it mean to go beyond class ultra? Yeah. And I think this could apply with your students as well, because kalau sa pedalaman kan, like you've only known your entire life as this kampung kid or this pedalaman kid, don't know where to go, right? So like in the story of My Hero, the you see all the heroes, going out of their way, going beyond, trying to learn how to use their own unique abilities to its uh, uh, optimum level. So it's like in a way it's somewhat like X-Men, but I think you can try. I don't know. Maybe you can just try reading a few chapters of it, because I think the first few chapters of My Hero was really good. Trust me.
Wait,
Okay.
we can get it at Netflix, right, or somewhere else?
Yeah, you can get it on Netflix. You can read it. I mean, you can read it online. Yeah, but like, after this, I'll share you some clips.
We can do that.
Okay. But let's move on to the other question that I want to ask you, which is about the Global Teacher Prize Award, right? Because you had the privilege to be at the global stage, kan? You're able to talk to different educators. You get to see different perspective, kan? So since you were the finalist in 2025, how was storytelling important to their method as it was to yours?
Yeah. So when I was called to Dubai, where they gathered all these top 50 best teachers in the world this year, I realized this person able to reflect on what everything happened to them. They're just like me. They know little things that happen within the kids, among all the budak-budak, and they reflected on them. They came up with stories yang is a true check on our reality. I remember this one day we were invited to this one sheikh house. We're not allowed. It's like a small palace, but the sheikh want to meet us. We're not allowed to take picture. It's just us and them, and the sheikh able to get out all these stories inside us. There's one of the teachers who got caught because he wanted to stop prostitution.
Okay.
There's a things where the kids were kidnapped and be turned into a prostitute. This teacher is fighting hard for it, and he got caught and everything. Got beat by the villagers. There's one teacher who unable to go to school because there's a armed groups were attacking the areas.
Yeah.
This one teacher telling us on how hard it is to be a Indian Muslim lady who was teaching in a missionary school when the school got bombed by the student at the age of 16 years old. Then there's a Ukrainian teacher. Well, everyone discussing about how having case bully kat sekolah. So she said, we don't have that thing in our place because in Ukraine we didn't have anything. Everything is being bombed. Sometimes this kind of story just lalu on our wall.
Yeah.
We swipe over this kind of story. We didn't think how it's affect the education in that area to that kids around them. Like recently in Papua, there's a group called KKB. It's like KKB.
KKB. Okay.
Kelompok with senjata who shot and burned the teachers inside their quarters Everyone
Mhm.
died. And how you want to compare that with the story of the issue of what happening in Malaysia, where the teacher refused to get posted to Sarawak because the place yang he got redeployed tak ada KFC. Like how you want to scale the story of these refugees who were taken or I talked to this one bangsa where the kerajaan want to wipe them off.
Mhm.
Hapuskan dorang semua. You want to compare your issue with this kind of issue, you know?
Mhm.
So storytelling is not about just a reality check. It's about bringing the message to this another person
Mhm.
with your heart.
With your
Sometimes the story can be sangat-sangat frustrating, sangat-sangat, but you don't have the heart to tell them good enough.
Mhm.
There's a place yang kasta, dia orang sangat
Yep.
ada kasta where the lowest caste sangat-sangat rasa they feel like they are dogs. Dia orang macam dong anjing yang tak diperlukan. Cast away.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you don't have the heart to share the people the story you want. That's why in my school, storytelling is part of the pedagogy of the heart. The greatest pedagogy is one of it is storytelling. I mean, pedalaman. My kids never seen Upin Ipin before, never seen Didi and Friends. There's not a lot to talk much about what they want to be. They live in a place where English is going to be the fourth and fifth language, where the teacher need to go there and learn the language first, and then baru dorang belajar dengan bagus.
Mhm.
Them how to tell a story. One of the feature of a good storytelling is props. It's a
Props.
simple
Okay.
prop. I remember this one drama techniques. Ini tak ada benda, tak ada apa, nothing.
Mhm.
But he simply buat one misai. You like this?
Ah, yeah.
It's the perspective of the scene yang he tried to convey.
Oh, because of the
Yeah, simple like that. That's why in my classroom I bought props. A simple chef hats can change the attitude and the environment of the classroom. It ubah how the kids see you. It's ubah how the kids see the classroom and the lessons. A simple
Mhm.
bomba punya hat. A simple misa you draw. Apatah
Mhm.
lagi in filmmaking and storytelling. So
Betul.
to be at the stage of Global Teacher Prize, and I have my teaching aid. I ada bahan-bahan bantu mengajar. I have all this kind of stories yang happening around me. And it really opened the eyes of the people. Orang tengok, oh, this is happening in Malaysia. But me, tengok yang there's always situasi yang lebih kesian daripada us. There's always devastating story. Kasi ingat, pedalaman dah susah dah. No. Kami di pedalaman lagi kesian dengan the urban poor. Yang tinggal di bandar tapi poor. People di pedalaman boleh bercuk tanam. I remember joining people go hunting. The deer tu apa rusa tu, the daging can last to 3 weeks.
Oof. Okay.
You imagine yang urban poor, gaji RM15 sehari. What can you buy? And esok tak ada kerja dah. Lepas tak ada kerja, cari kerja lain lagi. You tinggal pula dekat flat yang bertingkat yang and one of my friend punya sekolah, satu flat tu apa lift dia rosak, the entire flat tak pergi sekolah.
Ooh.
Imagine that. I have a friend SK Jalan Kebun. Around KL, Jalan Kebun ni. Form 1 dia, in that school, ada 25 buah kelas. Imagine kelang kabutnya cikgu nak urus buku teks, nak urus bantuan. You think dalam 25 kelas tu ada 40 orang student each class. You think dia orang peduli if one of the kid datang sekolah? You think dia orang ada masa to, you know? Now I'm pedalaman. Yes, tak ada internet. Yes, air tak bersih. Yes, tak ada karan. Yes, we are very far away from the one we love. I mean, there's so much on kids. Or makan minum terjaga. Look at me. I've never been, you know. Diorang kampung was so good. I tak pandai repair almari. My dinding runtuh. The people came by and helped me. This one time, YB datang to my school and buat persembahan. It turns out everything yang we prepare akan buatkan YB ni habis awal sangat the events. So we tak nak dia macam cepat balik. We still nak dia hang out lagi kan. So ada orang kampung mau balik dari tanam padi singgah to my school. Kami gunding. Aunty, can you boleh ke buat satu persembahan dengan kami? Okay, let's go. Aunty tu dengan baju kebun dia, and surprisingly it was creative. Everyone pakai boot kuning tu, boot pocukang tu. So they dance to a song. Boots are mats for walking. Like how you spontaneously tiba buat benda macam tu. Cari saya lagu ni. Cari kami lagu, kami akan menari untuk kami akan buat persembahan tu.
Faham.
I dare you cari sekolah dekat urban area yang dorang boleh spontaneous go like that. My point is, you kat pedalaman ke, you kat urban area ke, you can ada challenge no matter what.
Betul. It's not black and white lah.
Yeah. My friends yang bising, yang one of the demotivated teacher, yang komplain pedalaman this and that, now pindah ke Pesing ke berapa kat Putrajaya, komplain selalu jam pula. So it's you. It's actually the problem is you. You kena accept your fate. You kena berdamai dengan dia otak dia. Yeah. So,
betul. I mean apa ni? No, when you cerita pasal kawasan pedalaman, I mean it doesn't sound that bad. I mean I think in life you gotta take some trade-off kan. Yeah, tapi I rasa regardless lah kan. I think what you said in our meeting in I think last Friday, and you kata that the important thing when you go into that classroom is that you're able to connect with your students, and the way for you to connect is through storytelling, because storytelling opens up another, like you said, it opens up another world perspective, and it helps them interact with the students as well in an effective manner. Kan?
True. Yep.
True. Actually, when we talk about storytelling, okay, this is just like an because I feel like we always refer it to kita kena baca buku cerita kan, and I think you're pretty sure you I'm not sure if it's still implemented yang apa, you cannot bring comic books to school. Do you think you should have more varieties in the classroom?
For me, comic book is good. Comic book is good, but you have to monitor it very well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think everything good. If you can brought phone to school, but you monitor them well, then it's good. It's fine. You have to convince the parents everything is safe, everything is on the digunakan dengan cara yang betul with the purpose of teaching and education. That's okay. Comic book is good. Comic book, how can I say? Comic book It's one of the way to convey opinion and message. Yeah. Do you know there's a group called Black Panther?
You
So
mean
this
it? Are
is
you
a
referring to the one in the US?
is a group that black people activists for black people, and
Yes. I do.
that's what inspired the comic character Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
So comic book can be ideology but hidden in a plain sight for the true readers can cari. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is what they want to be. This is what they want
I
to be.
see. I see.
Spider-Man
I
is
see.
Spider-Man is the sangat teenage punya appearance. You know, you ada kelebihan sikit. At the same time, you kena you want to be a boyfriend. You want to be a good anak buah. You want to be
Mm-mm.
a good student. You have to juggle all this at the same time. You don't have money. You still tinggal dekat rumah auntie you. Sangat typical lah. They sacrifice everything just to
Mm.
guna his ability well. It's not bukan
True.
tulis, isn't it?
I think all of us do feel like we're Spider-Man in some way. Even
Yeah,
now when I'm a young adult, I want to do all those things, but I really have no money. It's really difficult, very difficult. Okay, but I guess one just two questions, and I think I'll just gabung sekali lah kan.
right.
Okay. Um. So I think you champion creativity a lot in the classroom, kan? Right? And and
Yes.
and actually in our podcast series pun, we've also invited Cikgu Anutra daripada Sabah, dari Sabah. Okay, and I think you also are good friends with her as well, kan? Okay. So like, to end the segment off, okay, how would you advise educators untuk cari creativity dalam bilik darjah, dan like what, based on our previous conversation, what was one powerful advice that you got from Anutra?
So I'm going to start with this one story lah. So the topic was adjective. I have to
Mm-hmm.
teach adjective. This is what the syllabus wants me to do for today. Adjective adalah kata sifat. Rambut dia warna merah, hidung dia mancung, mata dia
Mm-hmm.
bulat. So I have to do it in English lah, English class. I can just just ajar this. Okay, that red shirt, long legs, tall giraffe, beautiful car. But what I did is, I selalu pergi hotel, and I always bawa balik head cover. And people pakai shower cap. Shower cap.
Okay.
I put in shower cap. My friends yang accident, dia diberi baju hijau, and dia tak pulangkan, and they give it to me. And I pakai that as like dekat depan, so it look like a surgery punya tu covering. Pakai terbalik lah. Nampak macam surgery punya covering, I pakai face mask. I buat 6 or 8 patung. Ada muka, I print muka, laminate, and buat kain, patung-patung. Kain tepi, everything. I sediakan worksheet my kids, and I change the class jadi special nursery ward ataupun ward baby. It's a night class. My kids datang to kelas malam dengan seluar pendek dan baju singlet. Teacher, what are we going to do? We are going to check the babies, and you are going to be the junior doctors, and you are going to check the baby with me. So they discuss, okay, dong you doctor and all. So they discuss among themselves, terus dong semua lari ke kelas kami. Like, wait, we have class, where are you going? I thought the warden was doing that. It turns out, dorang pinjam uniform sekolah abang-abang dorang. So bila dorang pakai, dia nampak macam lab coat. on them.
Oh, okay.
You can imagine diorang ni pendek, guna seluar pendek, dengan kaki ayam, selipar Jepun, dengan singlet, pakai lab coat, kedek-kedek jalan macam doktor. And then they ambil my worksheet, clip dekat kotak and they flip. Okay, doctor, what we are going to do today? Tengok diorang. Like, you know, like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
we really about to pull one of the best classroom ever in this world. I'm one of the doctor right now. Let's go. I said. So the class went well. Check baby, ada baby curly hair, ada baby red hair, ada baby round eyes. Adjective. Check. Doctor, I think this baby. Doctor, yes. Because I boleh buat kelas tu tanpa prop, but it's going to be a bad storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But with that props, everyone immerse themselves in the storytelling. Now they're not calling me teacher, they're calling me Dr. Nazmi. Okay.
Dr. Nazmi, okay.
Class on well, habis. Fine. It's di mata orang, that's the class. Tu je, simple. But for me, my kids is different, something else. One of the parents of the kids, dia nak beranak satu lagi. But she didn't want to beranak dekat Pekan. She nak beranak dekat kampung, kat rumah. Ada klinik, tapi doktor pun advise this parent to go to Pekan Lawas, beranak dekat Lawas. She don't want, nak kampung. Okay. Dalam kelas tadi, I tell them, there's ada kid yang, oh lolo baby tu saya angkat. You cannot pegang budak sesuka hati. It's not your kid. Saya tak balik. Okay, sorry doktor. Tak balik. Ada kes yang tengok muka baby, like, you tak boleh suka hati pegang budak. You nak jadi doktor kan nak jadi apa ni, you know? I give them all the kind of experience. So balik tu, the kids tu beritahu mak dia, kalau adik dia dapat lahir di Pekan, ada doktor yang boleh jaga, mak boleh rehat. Kids tu able to persuade mak dia untuk beranak ke hospital Lawas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friends, we strongly believe that we dah save life that day.
Wow.
So, what I can ajar
Advice
from this lesson is, plan your lesson with your heart. Are we value the empathy as much as we value academic skills? If you nak ajar ABC hari ni, murid tak dapat tangkap, objektif pembelajaran ni tak tercapai, you can always try again later on the next class. Tapi at least jadikanlah kelas tu ada something yang budak boleh bawa balik terus. Kita ajar budak surf air. Okay. Tapi sebenarnya kita nak ajar diorang nama-nama barang dapur in the syllabus. Kita jadikan situasi dia budak surf air. Balik rumah budak boleh tunduk bila lalu, minta izin ibu bapa nak surf air. Who knows? You save life. Who knows?
True.
What I learned from Anutra is you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. Me and Anutra sangat different, tak sama. Bila Anutra cerita, I'm telling Anutra konsep dia punya pengajaran dia adalah dia sangat rapat with the budak sekolah menengah. Dia boleh merajuk, dia boleh dia buat budak sekolah menengah lagi ada empathy. Which I cannot, because I marah budak, petang tu budak lupa dah kita marah dia, it's not psychologically, it's not matching.
Yeah.
I'm telling Anutra, you cannot ajar sekolah rendah. And Anutra beritahu, Nazmi, you cannot ajar sekolah menengah. It's two different things. But the empathy is still there. That is the most important thing. And how you get to empathy? By being yourself. Being yourself, maksud ni adalah Everyone cannot jadi Cikgu Nazmi. I'm the only Cikgu Nazmi. All my skill, ni jadi, no. Because all of you adalah you are one and only you. You are very original. You cannot be anyone else. If you jadi anyone else, you tak akan berjaya. You won't succeed. Allah dah ciptakan manusia daripada Adam sampai ke baby yang last lahir sebelum kiamat. Tak ada satu pun sama. Everyone different. Everyone different. Everyone different. All the cikgu-cikgu yang berjaya, Anutra, Seasai and everything, they're just simply being themselves. I used to malu, with my toys and comic book. I remember I ikut pameran kat Miri, buat pameran toys. There's a group of big bikers datang. I spent 3 hours susun toys kat meja tu. These big bikers datang. Kat ujung ni, dia shake bagi jatuh all my toys. Kata, ni korang semua budak-budak, dia kata. I used to be embarrassed. I used to malu. Lama-kelamaan, I realized these are the things that inspired me to come up with Danger Room. These are the things that inspired me to realize these kids are mutants too. They need helps. Cikgu, dia power buat film. Dia power than me. Lagi hebat daripada saya. Nama dia Cikgu Eric Martini. Memang power. Every year, diorang menang. Me, the last time I dapat ke International Film Festival adalah 2022. Then 2023, 24, 25, none of my works and my kids' work accepted. This cikgu every year dapat duit dan sebagainya. Sekolah dia adalah sekolah pertama kat Malaysia yang ada panggung wayang. Sabah. Ada full theater panggung wayang.
Oh.
Because he's been doing what he loved to do. If you ada benda tu, you don't mind go extra miles. You don't mind spending more time and spending more money. Tak terisah. Ada cikgu, ni Cikgu Kumarisan. Dia cikgu sekolah menengah tapi mengajar budak OKU. Apa dia buat? Ada bilik kosong. Dia beli washing machine rosak, repair. Dia beli iron yang rosak, repair. Dia beli apa lagi? Set-set bakery rosak, repair. Dia buat mock training. So budak-budak OKU, dia latih untuk basuh baju, memasak dan mengayan, and then dia carikan kerja diorang dekat hotel. They go one hotel by one. If I ada restoran pun, I don't think I will hire budak yang budak special needs. This cikgu dah berjaya dapatkan kerja for 20 special need kids. Because his life, he really love to do it. And it comes naturally. Tak perlu orang ceramah dia buat tu. No. Same with Anutra. Anutra is a really community-based person. Dia minat chemistry. So program chemistry dia really works. Really jadi. Because that's what she is. Ada cikgu yang suka mancing. Suka gila mancing. I come to his school nak observe kelas dia. Mancing kat luar. Sekolah dia atas air. Pancing kat luar.
Yeah.
Was about to masuk kelas dia keluar, tarik pancing. Nanti orang kami ada. Okay. Masuk. Dia suka mancing. What he do, he ikut pertandingan inovasi perikanan di Badan Perikanan and menang. There's a cikgu yang suka buat fashion. He do it and help the kids with it. There's a cikgu yang suka this and that, yang suka sukan ni lagi banyak. You should know that thing pun also, you tak datang dan serta-merta. It will only comes when you know yourself. Passion, kesabaran, dan passion, dan minat. You ada dua benda ni, walaupun you tak ada skill, tak ada knowledge, you will going to do it. You're able to do it. Satu cikgu ni, cikgu dia, tak boleh sebut nama, cikgu, he only fall in love with the profession after 28 years. She finally suka kerja dia selepas 28 tahun. Kami buat program sebagai pemimpin sekolah, buat program, dan program itu adalah Passion Run School. Means kami bagi tugasan seiringan dengan minat cikgu tu. Cikgu ni dah senior sangat dah tua dah. Kata, cikgu apa ada cikgu buat kat tanaman herba. Cikgu ni walaupun tua, kalau dia pegang tanah tu kan, he can know apa yang boleh grow daripada tanah tu. Oh, ni tak dapat. Oh, ni dapat. This is kemudian dia kata, okay, fine. I can do it sebab tanaman herba, tapi I ada rules. I ada permintaan. Okay, apa? I only select few kids yang I trusted. Okay, go on. Tugas pemimpin kami bagi chance buka for this cikgu. 3 kali banjir besar. Wipe the entire kebun. Habis. He came back stronger and stronger and stronger. Banyak duit jual tanaman herba tu. And they only felt this after 28 years in the service. Once you jumpa yourself, you jumpa your passion, kan? You don't mind to go extra mile. You don't mind spending more money. You don't mind spending extra time. Because what? Because kerja ni bukan kerja sukarela. It's not a voluntary work. No. Dia baik. Gaji itulah yang bagi anak bini kita every month.
Wow.
When people ask me, kenapa Cikgu Nazmi nak buat camping lebih-lebih ni? Kenapa Cikgu Nazmi nak buat majlis gilang gemilang untuk budak-budak ni? Kenapa nak beli pensel banyak ni, beli sebenarnya stok untuk murid habis pakai nak manjakan murid? I said, no. Is it you buat really sebab lillahi ta'ala? Pun I said, no, not really. I bought this because I ada anak-anak kecil yang my own daughters. I hope one day by doing camping yang gah macam ni, so Allah will bagi adalah cikgu yang adalah sikit tenaga semangat nak buat camping yang best untuk my anak juga nanti.
Faham.
I buy all this pencil madam and hope one day time SPM my daughter lupa pemadam, adalah pengawal peperiksaan yang sudi bagi pinjamkan pemadam untuk my daughter. Faham. You ada anak buah, you ada anak cousin, anak adik and everything, people in your community. I bukannya Nabi ataupun para sahabat yang my hidup dan mati adalah kena syurga semata-mata. I'm not on that level. I still need money. I still want to buy toys, my comic book, everything. But at least I want Allah able to secure the future of my children, my anak, especially 2 of my beloved daughters.
Inshallah. I think that's a powerful way to end the segment 3. I think one thing that I can take away from this episode is that you shared like a lot of really interesting stories, and like I'm pretty sure these stories really matters to you the most. So I'm pretty sure that's why you share all of this in this episode, and I really appreciate it, right? And I mean, it shows your branding because you are a storyteller at the end of the day, kan? Yeah. Okay. But in either way, I think that's a wrap from this episode, and I think it's a really good a really good way to end the segment for our special episode with Cikgu Nazmi. I know it's a little bit too long, but I think it's enough for us to get into the reason why teachers are a very valuable profession to be valued in this world, and how much they care for the students, how much they want to make sure that they go beyond the classroom in itself, right? So thank you again Cikgu Nazmi untuk sudi bercakap dengan kami di Warna Jom Lepak, right? So before you end, before we end the podcast, please follow our socials on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I guess we have Facebook, and also just follow us on Warna Jom Lepak. It's just really simple. What now? Jom Lepak, or in short, Wanjal. Okay, WNJAL, right? So Cikgu Nazmi, ada apa-apa nak promo?
Promo no, tak ada sangat kot. my kids tengah buat films, and I think you're gonna love it. We belum finalize the name pun lagi, but we sangat-sangat determined on the issue yang we nak tackle, issue about pelajar yang tak ada legal documentation as a Malaysian. It's a really good issue and experience in real life by my students, and I hope things. I wish I can everything that finalized so I can share more about it, but just check out my Facebook and everything. You guys, I will share what all the info within this few months, I guess.
Okay.
Hari Guru Kebangsaan is in Malaysia. Hari Guru Kebangsaan is in Sarawak. You guys can come join. And also Malaysia Teacher Prize tengah buka sekarang, open for all teachers across the nations. Everyone can join. Just be yourself, and if you tak menang, your story matters. If you tak menang pun, you akan ada network, and you akan be exposure will come to you, attention will come to you, and you will get a lot of helps. That's actually why I'm joining all this kind of competition actually, because I need everyone to understand the journey of my kids. By simply applying for Malaysia Teacher Prize, you actually sharing their story, and you are actually uplifting your community. So, yeah, I think that's all for me.
Thank you so much. Apa-apa pun, we'll keep in contact, and I'm pretty sure, and do share with me with your comics, and I'll share with you my anime preferences. Maybe we can like come to a interesting discussion in the episodes that we like to tune into. All right. Thank you so much for listening to Wan Arjun Malepat. This is me, Haikal, signing out. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.